Once you've got your guns mounted on here and your Bondo has been dried, you need to start bridging this, which is going to be your parts that are going to allow your barrels to do this. So, because cutting everything by hand is very difficult to get it square, you notice that this is higher and this is lower. So the situation with that is really quite simple. You have to bridge this up, bridge that up, and then cross a piece over. And what that'll do is that will square this all up for you so that your pieces will then become symmetrical when you go to Bondo them into the turret itself. So I just kind of grab a piece like this. I'm going to need two of them, so we just cut two. They don't have to be exact or perfect, but they just have to be reasonably close. So basically you're gluing this on here like this, and then you're putting your other piece on over here, and you just kind of hold them into place and let them adhere well. Nice thing is, it's paper, you just cut off the excess. Aha, that slipped. As you can see, that's why you don't want glue on your fingers. That makes it really difficult to do what you're doing. Now, I need a piece basically that wide. Need two of those, one for the top and one for the bottom. Now this brace is so hard to deal with. Anyway, this is kind of what you're going to be doing. And so anyway, I want to cut that piece off of there like that. And you put that on there like so. Then you do your other side the same way. Now to keep this from slipping around, I have my handy dandy little sticks over here. We grab a stick and we put it there, and we grab a stick and we put it there, and then we grab some of these here little clamps, and we clamp it into place so that it will dry without slipping around. That's what you want. Sticks are easy to come by. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They sell them by the gross. And that is going to be part of the turret that is going to be, and I'm building a futuristic tank, so I went online and I picked out a bunch of different tanks, and I settled down on this one here. This happens to be a missile launcher, but I'm going to make it a gunfighter missile launcher combination. And so it's my own design from a picture. I have this little tool I made. It's a straight pin with a head on it, and what it is when you need to build things like tank tracks and rollers and things like that, you get your circles cut out and you get your center point. Because it's so small, I just take my straight pin and I just start punching a bunch of little holes around my little circle there that I already have marked out. That pushes out of there, off of that, and then you take a little piece of now what I did was I got these bamboo skewers at the grocery store, and what you end up doing is you end up with something like this. Now these are going to be the actual rollers the tank tracks will roll on. And because they're made out of bamboo, they're super strong and really tough, and should never ever wear out. Somehow or another I seem to be missing one of my circles, and I don't understand where it went. This is one of the things I do use cardboard for. I take a couple of pieces of cardboard, I glue them together, and that's what I use to punch everything out with, because that way you're not making holes in your dining room table or something your mom doesn't want you to make holes in. That's what you do. Now there's a couple of things you can do at this point. You can put cross pieces in here to give your width, your proper width for these, but that's not necessary. But it is a smart way to do it, because that way you don't have your wheels being off shaped like that. Now I have to make 8 each. There's 4 on each side. For the front 2 tracks there's 2, the back 2 tracks there's 2. But there's also little ones that I have to do. I haven't got to that point yet. I just did the big ones, kind of show you how to do that. And of course I made all of the axles that I'm going to need ahead of time, because you're going to need them. That's all there is to it. This is the chassis part that the tracks are actually going to be on. These pieces will be set in here at a certain elevation once I get this built, which is going to take a little bit more time. Anyway, so you have to be ready for this part. It's not at this point ready, because what I have to do is, with the picture of it, oh, there we go. Okay, it is right there. Yeah, that is it. Now, it takes a lot of thought ahead of time to figure out where this stuff's going to go. So I know that this piece right here is part of the chassis that the wheels are going to roll on, or the tracks are going to roll on. They need to be roughly a ½ inch wide in here. So what I've got to do at that point in time is some more paper. That piece is 2, 4, 5, 1 inch and 5/32. So by a ½ inch is what I said that was going to have to be. Okay, now here's a little thing that I learned early on. When you're building a chassis, one of the things you have to do is you have to keep your pieces of paper upright, or 45 degrees or 90 depending on what you're doing. So I all the time cut 45s. I have lots of them, and I keep them in little baggies because that way when I need them I have them handy. Alright, I have different sizes, and for this I need 1/2-inch ones, so these here are all too big, so we're gonna put them back because don't need them. I need the smaller ones. That's what these little pieces are for. This part of a chopstick is what I am going to use to make the turret with. So this has to actually get cut into here. There's Dremel tool works really good, X-Acto knives work, and I may not use that on this. I've been thinking about different ways of doing this, but anyway, this I've sanded this down so that it is now round instead of half round, basically, and this is what's going to turn it. So this will be my swivel point for the turret. And there's a couple ways it can be mounted directly into here and then Bondo just like I did here. You Bondo right around this. And I'm not exactly sure how I want to do that yet. I'm still thinking about it. But anyway, hopefully the next video will show this being worked on. Because this takes some time right here. That's how I keep my walls and different things pretty much square, is by making all of these. And they're really easy to make. You get a lot of little square chunks. And whenever you get a square chunk of paper, all you got to do is go corner to corner and you got your 45 degrees. And I get them all the time, and so I save them and I cut them and I get them ready, because I know that I'll be using a lot of them to build with. Anytime you're making your chassis, that's what you've got to do. Otherwise you can't, it won't line up right. That ought to be good for now.